Alright guys, so I feel like this is a really important video for me to make, and I hope that it comes across the right way and that I say everything that I need to say in this video, because I want you to understand, where I came from and kind of where I'm going. When I started this YouTube channel, it was mostly a place for me to share what updates and what things were changing in the search engine optimization world with the people that I worked with and my students. Now, it's turned into quite a different thing, and I want to share with you kind of how that all progressed, and I also want to share with you exactly kind of how I got to where I am today. Maybe this will help you better understand me, but maybe also it will help you kind of identify what you want to do, where you want to go with your life, your business, and your aspirations, okay? So April 16th of 2017, that's pretty much almost a whole year, almost exactly a year from the time that I shoot this video right now. Rewind a whole entire year basically, my YouTube channel was pretty much not really in existence. I mean, I had, I don't know, maybe a few thousand subscribers. Maybe it's definitely, I think, under 10,000 subscribers or right around 10,000 subscribers. So April 16th, 2017, almost an entire year of when I'm shooting this video right now, I made a pretty similar video back then. I'm basically kind of making that video again, but in a different way for two reasons. Number one, because things are changing and people change in a year and different things happen. But number two, we have so many new people here that are subscribed to the channel that didn't have the opportunity to see that video and may not know exactly how it is I got to where I am now. You see me now and you watch my videos and you probably wonder, how did I get here? I want to talk about that. If I had to sum it up into a couple sentences, how I got my money to begin with, how I made money to begin with, to afford the things I have now, is I started working with clients early on, and I made most of my money from working with local business owners and basically doing search engine optimization. So that was number one. Number two, which I was kind of doing both at the same time when I first started, was CPA or affiliate marketing, and it was mostly CPA marketing back then they called it, and still really call it now, which is cost per action, which is basically working with a network who has an offer and they pay you for getting someone to sign up for a free trial or for someone to fill out a form or something like that. So basically advertisers would pay me to drive traffic. So those are the two ways where I made most of my money starting off. So the one takeaway that I want you to take away from that point is that learn a skill and then take that skill and perform it is number one, okay? So I learned a skill, mostly search engine optimization, in the grand scheme of things, driving traffic, and I took that and turned it into a service that I basically packaged up and helped other people do. So that's how I made most of my money starting off. That's how I got to where I am right now in this point in time. So that's number one. After that point, I started packaging what I knew, SEO. I had learned a skill, I got really good at a skill, and I learned search engine optimization, and then I started teaching other people how to do it. So that would be like my information marketing business. Now this was after I had built a six-figure business working with clients and doing CPA marketing. I had a lot of clients at the time, and at the time, I'm pretty sure that I was one of the first people doing lead generation for local business owners, where I was setting up properties online, ranking them in Google, and then I was selling the leads. Now, I can't say that I was the first because I don't know 100%, but I really can't find anyone else who did it before me. I saw a lot of people do it after me, and a lot of people talk about it after me, but to be honest, I really can't find anyone who really put out solid information that did it before me and provided case studies and stuff like that. And I think that was really how my name got well known and how people learned about me, because I was one of the first people to do that, especially with Google Maps. I was one of the first people to leverage Google Maps to do that. And again, there could be someone out there who I didn't know about, but to my knowledge, there was really no one talking about it. And it made it challenging to learn, right? There wasn't people out there teaching it at the time. I had to literally go out there and experiment and figure it out and make mistakes. Anyways, all of that stuff evolved into me teaching other people how to do it eventually. I really developed a passion for that. I don't know if you guys know this, but when I started, before learning all of this stuff, before learning this skill, I was living in my brother's garage, severely in debt from college because I was going to school to become a nurse. And I went into it thinking like, this is gonna be a field where I can help people not be sick, help people get over their illnesses. And that was one of the things that really drove me and drew me to nursing. But once I got into the clinical side of things, I realized that I didn't want to help people in that way. I wanted to help people, but my idea of nursing was a little bit skewed from watching shows like House. Once I really got into it, I realized that I did want to help people, but not in that way. And I think that that's why I'm so drawn to the business of teaching people search engine optimization and helping people in that way, because it's still helping people but in a different way. So that kind of evolved into like another passion. So that's kind of number 2. Number 3 is, while I was running my business, working with clients, there would be problems and challenges that I would face as a business owner running a service-based business that was performing a skill. Working with clients provides a lot of challenges that come up, and a lot of things happen where you need to automate things, you need to keep better track of things. And I started to develop tools and software. I wasn't a programmer, still not really a programmer. Could do a little HTML here and there, but nothing crazy. So I took money that I made from my consulting business, working with business owners, and I reinvested it into hiring programmers, and then I developed software tools. And with those software tools, I was able to save myself a lot of headache in my business with my consulting, and then I also was able to sell that software as a service, basically. So rather than just keeping it for myself and letting me use it, I started packaging it up and letting other people come into it. And that basically turned into a big multiple 6-figure business. Several of the softwares that I put out did 6 figures, and it really just kind of took off. It was pretty crazy. Okay, so that brings us to where I am today. Sitting in this house. Obviously, you guys know that I do live in a big house, a 5,000 square foot house. I do drive a nice car. I have a Mercedes-Benz. I also have a second car that we use for our Amazon business for retail arbitrage, which is a Toyota Prius. But to be honest, all of that stuff I bought prior to where I am today as a YouTuber, which is gonna lead me into where I am now as a YouTuber. So when you see all of the things that I have, my house and my cars, which, by the way, I don't really even go crazy with buying stuff like cars. I haven't bought a car since 2014. You know, my luxury vehicle is paid for. I don't have a loan on it. I don't lease it. I don't rent it. I own it free and clear. And you know, I look at money a lot differently now. When I look at something like, say, a Lamborghini, and I think that I have to pay for this now, it makes me think a lot harder about where I'm investing my money. It's a lot easier to buy a car when you're taking out a loan on it or you're leasing it. I've never leased a car, by the way, but I've taken out loans on cars in the past. And let me tell you, it's a lot easier of a purchase decision when you're writing a $600 checkout to the bank every month, or a $300 checkout to the bank every month, whatever your car payment is, and it's not coming all in full out of your bank account. I made the decision that I didn't want to take out a loan on something ever again. So, could I go out there and buy a nice luxury car and pay cash for it? Absolutely. Is that going to be the best use of my money? Probably not. And it might sound kind of strange to hear someone say that it's a lot easier to make a decision to buy a car on a loan versus someone to pay cash for it out of their bank account. But it really is. It makes you really question yourself if you're gonna write a check for 100 grand, or even, let's say, even 50 grand or 30 grand. If you're gonna write that check on the spot and give it to the car dealer and give all of that money away, what else could you do with 50 grand? What else could you do with 20 grand, 100 grand? There's a lot of things you could do with that. You could develop another software. So I hope you see where I'm going with this. So I really haven't made any big purchases as far as cars go since 2014. And that's the reason why. I like to think I'm pretty smart with my money. I wear some expensive clothes, bought a Rolex, again, before I was big on YouTube here. I bought that back in 2015. Again, before I was big on YouTube here, before I was really doing any of this. So yeah, I do buy some nice things, but I think I don't go too crazy. But let's get back into the decision I made over the last year. 2017, last year, things changed pretty drastically for me in the direction that my business went. And before I explain that, I want to give you a brief backstory of my personality so that you can understand my personality. So my family often said, my brother and my mom, they often told me that I have a tendency to try and master something, and once I master it, I get bored at it, and then I try to move on and master something else. And I believe that they're totally correct with that. So when I was younger, I wanted to be a professional magician. Yeah, I wanted to do magic tricks, and I went to the magic store, and my dad bought me and my mom bought me a lot of magic tricks, and I actually became basically a semi-professional magician. I was booking birthday parties, I was doing Christmas shows, I was doing corporate events. These were paid gigs I was getting paid for. I was just a kid, I didn't even have my driver's license yet. And after I mastered that, I started getting into music. I had learned how to play guitar when I was younger, and then I started getting into songwriting, and I really got pretty good at songwriting. And I decided that I wanted to really pursue this more, and I kind of left the magic stuff behind. So I traded magician for musician. So long story short, I joined a few bands. I eventually started my own band, and then that band didn't work out, and I started my own solo career and doing it on my own. And I ended up going out on tours. I would spend a couple weeks living out of my mom's minivan, and then my brother also lent me one of his vans to tour out of, and I would spend a couple weeks at a time on the road touring and basically playing shows. It was pretty crazy. So again, it was another prime example of how I kind of go all in, and then once I kind of hit where I want to hit with it, I just kind of stop doing it and I move on to something else. Anyways, I'm telling you this stuff so that you kind of understand my personality. That's just kind of the way I am. I have entrepreneurial ADHD. I just kind of jump around. And maybe we all do that. And I don't think that there's necessarily anything wrong with that. I think, like I said, I'm doing just fine. And as long as it's working for me, it's all good. Might not work for everyone though, but it works for me. But anyways, so back at the beginning of 2017, right around March or April, I had really looked up to some of the popular YouTubers like Casey Neistat, to name one of them, who I was really looking up to. And I really thought, how cool would it be to be someone who's making YouTube videos every day and to be able to share your life with the world. So I decided that I was going to take a significant financial risk by taking time away from my other businesses, the software business, my consulting business, and start to take extra time and put it into my YouTube channel. Now, I had a YouTube channel before then, but I only just had a few thousand subscribers before I really started to put out content on a weekly basis. When I started uploading 3 to 4 videos a week, that was just at the beginning of last year. And prior to that, I really wasn't established at all. So I'd made the decision that if I was going to commit to this, I was going to go all in. I was going to take the time away from the businesses that were producing me significant money, right? They were producing me a lot of money. They afforded me the lifestyle I have right now. And I knew that I would be able to take that time away from that and still be able to live and pursue a passion that I enjoy. So it's kind of my idea to take the vlogging world and the world of what was going on there and try to merge it into the entrepreneurial business space and try to make videos that were entertaining and fun to watch, but that you still got some takeaways out of, that you still learned something. I didn't want to be Gary Vee, where I was talking mindset and talking about hustling every day. I wanted to provide stuff that I had actually learned, stuff that I was actually doing when I had started my business and when I had learned SEO and the things that I had kind of picked up on and new things that I came across. And I think that combination went over well. Obviously, the channel is taking off and growing at a really fast rate now, and thank you guys for that. I thought this was an important video to make so that you kind of know where I came from, how I came up, where I'm going with kind of this whole thing. I'm going to continue to make YouTube videos. I'm going to continue to do this, and I hope that you enjoy it. I know a lot of my videos have clickbaity titles and stuff like that, but I think the one thing that you'll take away from all my videos is that almost every video I am talking about you learning a skill and taking that skill and being of service to someone, adding value to a business owner. So every video, regardless of what it clickbaits, it's almost always the same takeaway, and it's the takeaway that I came up on. It's the same methodology, the same principles. So, you know, moving forward, I'm gonna be focusing on putting out more YouTube videos. So as you watch my future videos, now you know my backstory of how I got here. And obviously I incredibly value your guys' input. I put up polls almost weekly on what you guys wanna see. I read your comments. It's become nearly impossible to respond to everyone's comment, but I do read all of the comments, I try to. And if I see a common comment coming in often about something that you guys want to see, I try to make a video on that. I try to address that. I try to make a tutorial on it. So I definitely want to know your guys' input. You know, you guys kind of influence the direction of where we go. So I just want to thank you guys all again for being a subscriber here of the channel. I'm going to move forward in 2018 with taking time away from some of the other stuff I do to put more time into this, because right now this is my passion, and I believe strongly in pursuing your passion. And if I wouldn't have done that back at the beginning of 2017, if I wouldn't have put money aside and just stuck with this, I wouldn't be here right now. And now I'm able to pursue my passion and still make a living doing it. And I hope that you guys get value out of my past experiences that I share with you and the past things that I learned. And if you do and you buy like one of my products from me or one of my software from me, that's great and that's awesome. And that helps support me and what I'm doing and to be able to keep making videos like this. So anyways, guys, I just wanted to say thank you again. And for being a subscriber, whether you've been here from the beginning, from, you know, 11 or 2012, from when I didn't take this channel seriously and didn't really put up videos, or whether you just joined me a week ago or today, I appreciate you and I thank you for stopping by. And I encourage you to, like I always say, go out there and pick up a skill and master it and become in demand for that skill and start performing that service for other people, or becoming the expert that people go to who want that skill. So yeah, I hope that covers everything. I hope that it comes across the right way and that you get the message out of it that I'm hoping you get out of it. If you did, let me know by hitting the like button, and make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on. I'll see you in the next video, guys. I'm Paul James. Peace out.